Um, so the nodes basically just computers, right? Just computers and running on computers. And the nodes, what's the function of nodes? Nodes has a couple of things to do. They, I think I'm missing one slide. I should talk about the blocks. Oh, I haven't made the slide yet. So let me remind myself. Um, okay, I need to add here, talking about blocks. Because basically Bitcoin running on those blockchains. So each block, what is a block? A block just stores transactions. Like Bitcoin is a digital payment, is a peer-to-peer payments. So each block stores about 5,000. I forgot exactly how many transactions. So basically it records all these transactions. Um, and then um, so right now, so in 4 years, there could be something called a halving. So in 4 years, 210,000 blocks can be produced. So every 4 years, or whenever 210,000 blocks are created or produced, the reward, the reward, um, the reward will be reduced to half. All right, as you can see how prepared I am for this. All right, let me just move this to the forward. Great. So talk about blocks, and then talk about nodes. Right, so nodes in charge of checking, broadcast, and validate Bitcoin transactions. Um, and the security is done by cryptography and using hash functions. And recently use, so at the current stage, use SHA-256. So which means for any information to input into this hash function, the hash function returns 256 bytes code, right? And also something else used. One of the mathematical thing used is called elliptical curve. Well, this elliptical curve is a kind of functions. It's a calculate for something called a hashing, right? Hashing. So this is all like mathematics behind the scenes. Um, so the hash right now is use SHA-256 to produce. And the hash rate distribution, you can see USA has the most, 36%. Russia has 16%, so on and so forth. So Bitcoin, so the network includes a lot of nodes and also miners. So miners has something special. It's a special role. What is a special role in here? So once a block, so think about all the computers are waiting for a transaction. So once a transaction is initiated, so all the miners are trying to catch it, trying to find out the hash of the previous one, the previous transaction, then add this new transaction into the block. So that's a lot of calculation, computation. So the winner, you can see a lot of computators. So the winner will be able to do that and then attach this block put this transaction into the block. Once the block is full, they have to generate a new block. So to generate a new block and able to chain this block into the previous one, that's a rewarding happen. So right now, the reward is a 3.25 Bitcoins. At the beginning, is 50 Bitcoins. So 2012 reduced to half, 25. Then every 4 years, reduce half of it. So it's a geometric decreasing. So at this current stage, I think it's 3.25. So yeah. So the miners are validating transaction, checking the hash, try to find the hash. Basically, it's a guessing work. So about 10 minutes is by design in the code. About every 10 minutes, a new block is validated. So new Bitcoins are rewarded. So this is Bitcoin halving. So every 4 years. So at this moment, it's 3.125. Right. So once a miner successfully attach a block into the chain, that's why it's called blockchain. So the reward is a 3.125 Bitcoin. So that's why Bitcoin is getting more and more expensive. Because of the mining becomes more and more costly, because the reward is less and less. So in total, there are only 21 million Bitcoins by design. Okay, by design. At current stage, about 20 million being mined. So until 2140, so this year, so all Bitcoins will be mined. Maybe this could be earlier because of quantum computing power, right? If quantum computing power can be used into this, so these dates can be much earlier. Yeah, maybe I should put the blockchain earlier. Yeah, I'm still working on this. So this shows you, once a block is created, it try to change to the previous one. Whoever successfully do that will be rewarded with Bitcoin. And a lot of competitors, right? Sometimes it could be two or more, but the longer one will be successfully changed into the previous one, and the others will be discarded. So this also shows how blockchain works. So this shows this should be here, right? So the mining cycle are every 4 years. So this is seeing every 4 years how the price of Bitcoin increase. At this moment, we're at this point. So we're assuming a lot about maybe 50% more, even more than 50% to increase until 2026. There's some price. So Bitcoin price on January 1st of those years. So I recorded from 2013 because at the very beginning, Bitcoin is very cheap. You see, 2013, the price is only $13, right? Previously, just $5. And 2014, 754. 2015 dropped to 314, 2016, 434. So that's why people call Bitcoin has a 4-year cycle. And the 1 year is a bull year, and the other 3 years are like a bear years. Then 2017, so you see 2018 is a big jump. Then 19 drop, 20 drop, 2021, because of COVID, right? It jumped. Then 22, so 24, January 24 is only 44,000. But now it's about, today is about 84,000. So it's ups and downs, ups and downs. But so this records the first day of each year data. And this shows the third column shows the change, the absolute change, right? The last column, the fourth column shows the relative change. So absolute change, relative change, remember we learned in Math 102, right? So if you do want to give a presentation, you want to use this language, you learned in class, right? Absolute change, relative change. And this one records the Bitcoin returns since 2010 and also shows the change. So you may see the numbers a little bit different, right? Because this is not the first day of the year. And yeah, so I was trying to do some calculations. I haven't finished everything yet. I'm trying to do some calculations. And this shows the ownership of Bitcoin. Right? So who owns the Bitcoin? But this chart keeps changing. So right now, the individuals owners probably only 60%, maybe not even 60% anymore. And the business is increasing. Business is more than 8%. So these numbers are changing, keeps changing. And Bitcoin status. So Bitcoin is still something called S curve for assets, something S curve. So Bitcoin is still at its beginning. You see somewhere here. And also, okay, I should have another S curve. So this is people calculated one of the Bitcoin price modeling, right? It depends on those log progression. So Bitcoin adoption, Bitcoin ETFs, 2024 last year, January 10th, started a couple of ETFs. So right now we have almost over 100 different kinds of ETFs. There are others. And for this couple of days, something special happened. Yeah, so what happened is this. So March 7th, and our president signed the executive order of establishing a U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve. So this is huge. This is huge. And a bill introduced by this Senator Cynthia, like she introduced the bill. So the bill is waiting to be negotiated, to be passed. So the Bitcoin is called the Bitcoin Act of 2025. All right. So it's built upon president's executive order. So basically to see, how many Bitcoins to own, how many to buy each year, stuff like that. Right. If we talk about global wealth is about 900 trillion at this moment, and 380 trillion in real estate, and 300 trillion in bonds, 123 trillion. But these numbers are keeps changing in money. The equity about 124 trillion, art 18 trillion, gold 16 trillion. People like to compare Bitcoin with gold. People like to call Bitcoin digital gold. So gold is 16 trillion, are still increasing. But Bitcoin is only 2 trillion. And Bitcoin is also after Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Google, Amazon, those stocks. So Bitcoin has a lot of room to increase by those driving forces. It's definitely the fastest growing, right? We can see from the price, from nothing to now to actually increased 2 months ago, maybe to 100,000. So it's the fastest growing, as most popular, is most interesting. Why is most interesting? Actually, it should be most intelligent, not only interesting. Most intelligent because of the design behind it, the mathematics and other stuff behind it, like logic, economics. So a lot of knowledge behind the design. Of course, most digital, most useful, and most global, right? It's a peer-to-peer. There's no middle guy gets involved. So it's a lot of a driving force. Low risk, right? No financial risk, no physical risk, no counterparty risk. Digital capital. So Bitcoin is a digital capital. And those are some, advantages. So price forecast. So basically, seeing if Bitcoin takes 0.1, so this is happened in January 2024. So Bitcoin is about 0.1% of the worldly asset. So the price at that moment is 65K. Right? And the market cap is 1.3 trillion. At this moment, it's about 2 trillion. It's a little more than 0.1%. So the price is today is about 83K. So people build a mathematical model to calculate it. So thinking 2025, 3 cases, bear market or base market or bull market. Right? If Bitcoin takes 2% of the worldly assets, remember the worldly assets keeps growing also. So that's about 68 trillion. Then the Bitcoin price will reach 3 million. So this is in bear case, 2045. So base case, 13 million. So saying 7% of the worldly assets and the capital market cap 280 trillion. Well, bull case is 1,030 trillion in market cap and about 22% of the whole world assets. Then the Bitcoin price will be 49 million. So talking about how Bitcoin can help US debts. And we know US debts published to the public is only about 36 trillion, but in reality is about 159 trillion and it's growing every second. You can go to one website, all right? It keeps growing, keeps changing. So which means individual per share, so upon our head, we owe almost $1 million. That's how deadly our country's debts. And this graph shows the increasing sharply of American debts. And that's our debtors distribution. So, right. So president signed this executive order, hopefully to build a Bitcoin reserve and to help solve the national debt problem. And Bitcoin can be counted as a Satoshi. So Satoshi is the smallest units of Bitcoin. So 1 Bitcoin equals 100 million Satoshi. So people can spend how many Satoshi? So this is converted. 1 Satoshi is this, right? 10 Satoshi. So we can spend by Satoshi. We don't have to spend by 1 Bitcoin, because Bitcoin will become very, very expensive as time goes by. So for individual, we could plan a money tree. So this formula we learned in a 102 course, Math for Life. Right? I call this formula, which is an annuity formula. I call it money tree. Because most people, we don't have a big lump sum money to invest. However, we can always save a little money. So this D here represents a very small amount of money to invest. Maybe you invest $10 every month or maybe every week. You save up $5 every month. This money tree, let time, let the compounding power, let the increasing power to grow your money. So everyone should plan a money tree. So I was doing some hypothetical case, but I haven't finished yet. And another concept for investing is called dollar cost averaging, right? So you just put just in this formula. So this D means a fixed amount. You just put a fixed little amount of money into, at a fixed time. So this is a commitment, right? If you commit yourself, saying, I'm going to save $5 every month. I'm going to invest in buying Bitcoin the first day of every month for $5, right? Then you let the money tree to grow your money. In 10 years, you will be a rich man or rich girl. So that's something called dollar cost averaging. So which means we don't care about the price, all right? You see, even the price goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, but the dollar cost averaging ensures you to make money. All right, that's the strategy. And so this, I have collected some, those people, early investors, some early investors. And of course, they become millionaires, billionaires already. Just some early investors. They are financially free. They are, they're enjoying their life. So this is just a couple of examples. There are a lot of examples online. And some big influencers like CZ in Binance, those are billionaires. Coinbase, Armstrong, MicroStrategy, and this is Satoshi guy. This Satoshi, he owns Satoshi. Nobody knows who he really is. Whoever read the white paper, read the code, and formed a Bitcoin.org website. And so his last email just telling people, he's done with this. This project is done. He's moving on to next project. And in his wallet, he has, I forgot how many Bitcoins he has, but this wallet he has was never used. So which means this person doesn't really care about money at all. Yeah, he never cashed any Bitcoin. He never touched the wallet. So the true value of Bitcoin is still unfolding because it's a genius design by weaving math, logic, economic, cryptography, etc. into one. And obviously, holders get very rich, yet a bit of an iceberg, infant stage of development, and a new era of human life. So yeah, there's a lot of good things to look forward. Anyone has any questions? So let me bring up the list. Maybe open the list. So far, okay, so far I have Alexandra is going to do history of Bitcoin, and the Kinoja is blockchain technology about Bitcoin. So Kinoja, you need to read the Bitcoin white paper and also maybe watch some YouTube videos to understand the nodes and the mining process.
Okay.
Okay, which is very interesting, which is fantastic, which will make you a rich woman in the future. I'm telling you the truth. I'm a rich woman already myself. Because I know Bitcoin during COVID, the price was about 10,000. So I didn't buy right away. I know Bitcoin when Bitcoin price was about 5,000 up and down. Then I started to study. I started to study what is a Bitcoin, you know. Then once I did my research, I convinced myself, I started to buy. So I started to buy during the COVID and I kept buying. Then so price of Liam and another from 234, he also wants to do price of Bitcoin. There's a lot of things you can do. You don't have to use, you could use percent. Oh, I didn't mention. So the percent distribution was used in this because the machine has to calculate the probability of the mining for the miners. What's the probability they can produce a block that can be the winner? So that's use percent. Uh, so percent distribution, and also you can use normal distribution, right? Use the central limit theorem. The central limit theorem says the normal distribution can approximate any kind of probability distribution, which is very powerful, right? You can collect the cross-sectional data or time series data. Cross-sectional means maybe you want to compare Bitcoin price with others. You collect the same period of time to compare. Time series means maybe you talk about the price of Bitcoin in history. All right. Volume, right? Volume is the same thing. Volume of Bitcoin also, right? You could Sapphire. Is Sapphire here? I don't think she's here.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here. All right. So do you have any idea how are you going to use volume of Bitcoin? Which class you are in?
234.
234. Okay. So you could do a lot too. Just different numbers, the same as you can compare volume, of Bitcoin with others, maybe just with gold, because people
Yeah.
have Bitcoin digital gold. You just compare. So you could do cross-sectional, you could do time series, then use the stuff you learned from class to do this. So the price and the volume, we could do that. And ownership, so Lillian is going to do this, right? Lillian?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. So you're going to do this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So just be careful. The data you draw from online, just make sure it's more update. There's a lot of data, right? Um, yeah, I don't have anybody choosing mathematics of Bitcoin yet. But this is kind of difficult. It's okay. Maybe I'll just do this myself. Um, then Bitcoin
Uh,
mining. Yeah. Anyone has any questions?
I can do the mining for Bitcoin.
Okay, great. Let me put your name down. So who's that?
It's Melissa.
Oh, Melissa. Okay. All right. So which means the math behind it, but you could ignore the math. You talk in English language. So which means you, Kenoja, and maybe most all of you read the white paper. Okay, go to bitcoin.org. Read the white paper to understand because the white paper is in English. No one takes a Bitcoin halving yet. Let me see how many people I have here. Adi,
Yeah.
so which one you should, have you chosen anything yet?
No, 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 not as of the moment. I was thinking of mathematics of Bitcoin, but then I'm not so sure. Like,
Well, this is
yeah.
awesome to do. This includes, or maybe a little bit too much for you because you haven't
Okay.
learned Markov
Mm-hmm.
chain, percent distribution, because
Mm-hmm.
you're in MATLAB 117, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, maybe do you like to do halving, Bitcoin halving?
Yeah. Like, what would I be focusing on exactly?
So halving is basically, right, halving is not much. Halving basically talking about every 4 years, by programming, by coding, every 4 years. To be exact, every 210,000 blocks produced,
Mm-hmm.
so the reward of Bitcoin will be halved. So at this moment, it's only 3.125 Bitcoins. At the beginning, 50 Bitcoins. So every 4 years, about every 4 years, when
Mm-hmm.
210,000 blocks were produced, the reward will decrease to half. So by 2140 or maybe closer, it will be done. So no more having.
I can do this, but I'm more looking forward to hashing function actually.
Oh, okay.
So
Then you do hashing function then. Hashing function
yeah,
is cryptographic.
yeah. I'll do hashing function.
I'm sorry?
I'll do pricing. Hashing function.
Hashing function. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Sent you an email like a while ago, but you can ignore that. It was for the topic, but I'm willing to do hashing function then.
Okay.
Because I think there's someone I was thinking of doing price of Bitcoin, but then I think so it's already been taken. So yeah,
Uh,
it's okay. I'm willing to do hashing function. There's no issue.
okay. All right. Okay. Anybody else? So anybody has any question? All right. So probably from this moment on, we need to meet every week or every 10 days, something like that. You know, I need to check on how you are doing. If you maybe you have any questions. Yes, Safia.
I have a question for like what we have to deliver every meeting. So is it like some of the research we did? Like how much
Exactly.
research do you expect us to have done every week? And
This,
also
yeah.
question for the interviews. I know you mentioned like we could do some qualitative stuff, so that would be like interviewing real, professionals in the space. So how is that gonna work?
The interview, right? The interview, I don't know how convenient is that. Do you know anybody? If you know, I was thinking, do you know anyone invested in Bitcoin, or do you know any professional portfolio or managers to interview? If you do
Uh
have, yeah.
yeah, I do know Stuart Haber. He was cited on the white paper. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, if you do have convenience to do that, you can do that. Otherwise, you do research. You get it information from online.
okay.
Okay. All right. So how much, was I expected? I don't have much. For me, I only expect you to use the stuff you learned in class to apply for this. But it's up to yourself to see how far you want to go, you know. I'm just starting you from here. It really depends on yourself how far you want to go with this. I think this is a fantastic. It's a phenomenon. And you guys are young, It's for your generation and the generation after your generation. It's for future. But right now we're just, start to adapting it into right. It's just a starting point. Okay, anybody has any question?
Yeah, I have a question. For the price of Bitcoin, you were saying I could either do cross-sectional or time series. Do you have like a recommendation which might be better, or is it just my discretion to pick what I feel like might be
You could do both, or
okay?
you can do any you feel like.
Okay. And then also for the individual presentations, like if we were to present our topic um on May 1st, if we apply for that, would we be doing it together like with the other group members, or would that be an individual presentation?
Because on the application, I don't see anything on the application, but I can always talk to them. You know, we could do panel wise, we could do individual wise because we have different topics.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
but it's good.
And
Yeah.
actually, one last question. So I'm kind of like on the fence if I'm gonna present or not. Like I'm still making up my mind. But is there a benefit you would say to being able to present this? Or is
Of
it just
course.
kind of if you want to?
Well, first, in the future, you guys are looking for jobs. It'll always be amazing to write on your resume. During college time, my second year, my third year, my first year, I did this research with my professor. And also I'm able to write if you need recommendation, if you need reference, I could do that too. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Welcome. Anybody else has any question?
Yeah, can I please ask also about the presentations on the May 1st? So I filled out a paper and then I sent it to you, and you replied back to me that it's signed, but I open it and it's not signed. So I think you will have to send it to me again, like signed.
Oh, okay. Okay,
And
let me do that. Yeah.
when is it due? Like, when do we have to send this paper? Because I looked and I think
31st.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because
31st.
we have to write also an abstract, I think, right?
I see. I didn't really know much because
Because it's in the application. It says, I think, to write like 500-word abstract or something like that.
oh,
And then I was a little bit confused with how are we gonna submit it? Like, should I mail it to someone or
it doesn't see it. I'm trying to get, let me see your email.
yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know you're the department chair
What
and
department
chair
chair?
emails.
Has department chair? Department chair. Line. Evans, EVANS. Hmm. I need to sign here, right? I thought I signed.
Yeah, you did, but you haven't sent it to me, and I'm not able to.
Oh, let me just.
Like, you will have to, I think, download it and then resend it to me.
Doesn't allow me to finish. Okay, let's see. What's today? 28th. Right? Oh, I have to download first.
Yeah, you have to download it and like send me the download part.
Okay, I'll do that later.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, anyone has any other questions? Okay, good to see you all. Anytime, if you have any questions, just send me email, all right?
So when is the next time we're meeting?
Next time, I'll let you know through email.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye.
Thank
Have a
you.
good rest of your night.
Bye.